Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. Alyssa Milano extends olive branch to Trump supporters after years of smears from Klansmen to misogynist bigots. Yeah, I mean, look, Alyssa Milano, she is on Twitter a lot. Um, my response to this is don't yell at her. Don't harass people. Just ignore her. The worst thing you could do to somebody in Hollywood or a celebrity in Hollywood is ignore them. Just ignore them. Ignore what she's in. Ignore what she does. Ignore her. And, it's like that episode of The Simpsons when the promotions come to life and they sing the jingle, just don't look, just don't look, just don't look. And they all die because nobody's paying attention to them. But Alyssa, I mean, come on. Really? I mean, you and Joe Biden, you're all a bunch of chumps. You're all a bunch of this and that after calling people's names for months. And look, let's be honest. You didn't just call people names kind of off the cuff one time. You've been calling people racist, bigots, like the worst things you could think of for years, literally years on Twitter. This goes back quite a ways. So, talking in the most dramatic ways about the death of democracy and how we're killing kids in cages and all these hyperbolic things. Oh, and now it's just I'd like to be friends now. It doesn't work that way. It's especially insincere when other people in Hollywood say things like Chris Evans and Braff will never forget Trump enablers. Well, maybe Alyssa Milano should talk to Chris Evans and Braff and say, hey, guys, come on. We're trying to get along here. But they're making noise about, we'll never forget all these enablers. Remember who said nothing. These people think they were in the French Resistance in World War II. It's typical actors. They over-dramatize everything. But, it's also them exploiting the current trend. When this trend dies, if Trump does go out of office, the trend will die because it's unsustainable without Trump. Not that Trump's going away, but if he's not president anymore, then what are you going to do when Biden drone bombs somewhere in the Middle East and you're still screaming about what Trump did a year and a half ago? It's going to sound pretty hollow and no one's going to pay attention to you. In fact, people are going to start yelling at you. And once they get any kind of pushback, this isn't popular anymore, they'll just move on to something else. I think. That's my opinion. This is all my opinion. And again, this is, in my view, a bad move for most celebrities. These guys are actors. No one wants to hear their political opinions, I don't think, or not many people. And it's disappointing, because, look, Braff, he was supposed to be the funny guy in Scrubs. Chris Evans, he's supposed to be Captain America. So people have a different impression of actors. They have this impression of their character, and they kind of impose that on them. So when you do stuff like this, it already just annoys people because it destroys their romantic delusion of you. And on top of the fact, if they don't agree with you, it just makes them more annoyed. So all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot in terms of work and in terms of, hey, everybody, come see my movie. And guess what they're going to say? Yeah, they're going to say a bunch of nasty things on Twitter, and you're going to have to get your publicist to, kill all the comments or talk to Twitter about banning people. And then when they vote you down in Rotten Tomatoes, you're going to be like, damn it. This can really hurt your career as an actor because you're very visible. It's bad enough that people go after actors and act aggressively towards them. I don't support that because actors make themselves vulnerable by putting themselves out there and acting. And sometimes they play bad characters that people associate them with. Remember the guy from the Hitler meme in the bunker? I mean, that guy, you see him and you think, oh, hey, there's Hitler. It's like he probably doesn't want that association. It was just a role for him. So you don't want this. They don't want this, but they don't know it. And I think part of it's ego. They think, oh, I'm beloved by many people. Yeah, you are, but also people don't like you too. And so when you push and push and push and kind of polarize your fan base, you're gonna get a significant portion of them that just go, I'm not going to see any movies with these guys in them ever again. I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, Zach Braff, I was never a huge fan of. Chris Evans, I loved him as Captain America. I thought he was a really, really good Captain America. Prior to that, I thought he was an okay Johnny Storm. I mean, I thought he got kind of a short shrift in that movie. It never quite came together, and it kind of wasn't his fault. I thought he was a good Johnny Storm. And he was also in a movie, what the hell was it called? Push, I think it was called. It was another kind of weird superhero movie, very, very low key. It was pretty good. But now, I kind of don't want to see anything he's in. Just because he's sort of aggressive now. I feel a little bit attacked by him. Same thing with Alyssa Milano. Like, if she were to come out and try to get other Hollywood stars, like, hey, everybody, we got to all get together here. Come on, we got to forgive and forget. Maybe. But, and maybe some apologies might be in order too. Like, maybe I got a little out of hand kind of thing, Yeah, I didn't have all my facts straight. I was just really excited, whatever. But I wouldn't expect that from any of these guys. And unfortunately, I think their career is going to take the hit. Now, Alyssa Milano, I don't really know if she needs to work anymore. She's kind of, for an actress, it's really tough to get work when you get older. And, she's kind of gotten older, and, she still looks pretty good. Probably could play older women roles, but, there's not a lot of them. And, they're kind of like Lifetime movie sort of things or mom parts, like, but she's into her activism, and people are going to remember her from that. And if you got a movie and you're promoting it, you got to put yourself out there. They're not going to be nice to you unless you actually apologized. And this falls way short of any kind of apology, any kind of uniting. And speaking of talking about apologies, how about disowning Antifa? These guys are threatening right now armed action against Trump supporters if Trump doesn't concede. I mean, these guys are bad news. They've gotten totally out of control. And people in Hollywood, not these specific stars, but other people, have egged them on. They were totally fine with this because they thought, oh, at least somebody's doing something right. But these people don't know what they're doing. They're just essentially street gangs with a political bent to them. And some of them might have a little discipline, but most don't. They just end up breaking stuff, lighting fires, hurting people, getting arrested, and really corrupting college kids into a life that could end up being, they could end up ruining their lives. You get a police record for assault, how are you going to get a job? Are any of you fancy celebrities with your $1 million mansions going to hire an ex-con who was convicted of assault to be your personal assistant? I don't think you will. Oh, it says here on your record you punched a cop in the middle of a riot. Now, maybe you're so politically woke that you'll hire an Antifa guy, but, I mean, even then, it's like, how are you going to trust your new personal assistant if they suddenly decide you're supporting white supremacy, or the movie you're on is supporting white supremacy and that's time to get rid of you? These are extremists. So if you wanted to actually apologize and bring people together, you have to start with the worst of the worst on your side. Yeah, Joan agrees. Joan agrees. Right, little Joan? You have to start saying, listen, We disavow Antifa. Everybody should. We don't want violence, political violence of any kind. You have to disavow that kind of stuff. Joan, you're ruining the video. You're ruining the video again. Here, go to sleep. Go to sleep. There you go. She's like a bird. You pull the blanket over, out like a light. So yeah, I mean, just to ignore this stuff and say, oh, let's just go back to the way things were. Yeah, probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. So the next time you guys are promoting something and want to have a friendly conversation on Twitter or on social media, you're probably going to get a lot of flack. And, some of that's going to be your doing. So maybe think about pulling all this back and really just getting out of politics, regardless of the outcome of the election. Maybe it's time just to be an apolitical actor that just acts.